Have you played the Stanley Parable before? No, I haven't. Please adjust the slider and make it barely visible. Please enter my current time. It is 9:24. 9:24. Oh, can I wait? Okay, now 9:24 a.m. Okay, Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today's video, be checking out the Stanley Parable. So I have no idea what this game is about. I think I saw Jacksepticeye played it a while back, but I didn't really watch all. I didn't watch the series all the way to the end. So now I'm here to play on my channel. Dip my toes in this for the first time. So this is. Okay, so let's begin then.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Not me, bro.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Is this some
He had
out of
been
the
at his
ordinary?
desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so this is my office, and did the door just magically open?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh shit, bro. I don't know if this is a Truman Show situation or this is a Matrix situation. I hate Mondays. Oh, today is Tuesday, my boy. It ain't Monday. Some weird shit happening in the back.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
My left. Okay. Okay, so why it led me back to my office?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker? Let it ball up inside you. Take out what? Using the slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Nah. I ain't getting paid enough for this shit, bro. I'm literally the only person
Coming
on
to
payroll.
a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Man, no. Wait. What's going on down here? I need to go for sure.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy,
I mean,
why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Should I go backwards?
He yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
No, I think I'm just going crazy.
Was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams,
can I smack
the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
So why am I tripping out?
It was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just...
Oh, no.
He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one.
What is going
on? Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Okay, so...
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
The fuck is going on?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Where's Stanley?
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Dead?
And although she would
Stanley's
soon
dead?
turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what
Bro,
crazy people
you're
look
making
like.
him crazy,
And in that
man.
moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane.
Nah.
I am in control of my
You
mind.
doing the same thing I
I
heard that you
know
were doing
what
to
is
him.
real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Nah.
Then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Wait, what? Did I just die for not following your instruction?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why to go on the right so you can see what that does? But okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yes, I did. Yes, sir. Exclusive bathroom. Okay. This is boss man at.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad
there's a
behind the
camera
boss's
out there.
desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Nice.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, this boss got some dark secrets. That's why I've been underpaying everybody. Yeah.
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, what the? Okay. Hold on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Okay.
that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I mean, if you say so, bro. Should escape my
The door
volume.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Yeah, but use it.
At this point, Stanley
Wait.
was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Nah, bro. Not my death. It's getting away from your bitch ass, man. I don't wanna listen to you no more.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he
Oh,
reflected that
oh.
his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
All right.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story,
No, man.
trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned
Yeah.
and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Yeah. Okay. This is how we gonna play this, huh? Wait.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
I made it.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his
Wait.
office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Yeah, bro. I know that guy was crazy.
When every
Man.
path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Oh. 2 doors. So that one would have just led me to death. Or I was already dead. Where's the stairs? So does the game end? The office. Warzone. Anywhere Stanley would. Oh, I think this is the end. Those are just developer notes. Hold on. Is this the end though? Oh, Minecraft. Huh? I don't really. I think this is just like the brains behind everything. There's a bulb swinging in there.
For sure, they're getting pushed the back on track to where he was supposed to be in the story.
What the fuck?
Stanley jumped in the river. Stanley pushed the number 6.
Quiet.
Stanley pushed the orange lever.
Taken from not using it. Oh.
Stanley pushed the big red button.
Oh, these are just voiceovers I weren't using the finish game. Okay. Okay, let's. Okay, I think that was the game.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No,
Who?
perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Hope you're not talking about me and the
But
narrator.
listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail.
Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game.
As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Yeah, I'm gonna turn on my game, bro.
Starlight.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon.